Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, thanks for being there this morning for the Summer Wells show. That was a fun show. Well, as fun as it can get, if you know what I mean. So let's see who's in here. I know Outlaw Trucker was the first. Todd, hey. Hey, thanks for joining Discord, Todd. Yeah, my stomach's in knots too. Hi, Catalina. Hi, Deb. Hello, Joanne. Hi, Holly. Hi, Dallas. Hey, Dylan. Well, Dylan, send me an email and I'll let you know, figure out a good time for you. And you can always, watch the Summer Wells stream later. Hi, Phoenix. Hello, What Big Eyes. Hi, Pretty Fools. Hello, Cat O. M. Cause. Hi, Samantha. Just me said, I just feel so darn angry and hurt for her parents. Yeah, me too. I'm actually wondering if they already know the results or if they're waiting like the rest of us. Hello, Katie Bird. Let's see if I'm missing anybody. Steve, how's it going, my friend? Let me see here. I know, did you catch that? How you doing? Did you catch that? But you're right. This is going to be a rough one. Hello, Aggie. Christy C. If I missed somebody, I apologize. Holly, I don't know if I told you hi yet. Well, hello, Gary. How are you today, my fine friend? I know I saw someone else in here and I'm missing you. So if I did, I apologize. Hello, Fonda. Tim says, I'm always on. Well, God bless you, Tim. So we'll let people kind of get settled in real quick. JB's live right now. I'm waiting on Kevin to come up or to get connected or whatever. He had some things he wanted to share. Queen of Hearts. She said, feel like taking a poll on a theory. I do. So, if you want, just put it in the comments what you think happened. I kind of have my own theory. Hello, my friend. What's going on?
There. How about that one?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
We want you, Brian.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are saying, they think that her parents already know. I mean, I've seen.
I would, if I had to bet on that, I would think they do.
Yeah. A lot of times, you can't really trust people so much. I'm not saying you can't trust her parents, but what if they get on social media,
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know how that works. But if they are waiting, I can't imagine being her parents. That's for sure.
Well, they've waited long enough. My God, how long did they have to wait just to find out she was missing?
Can you imagine how they're going to feel when they find out? I hope it's not. I hope it doesn't reveal somehow that throws doubt into this.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think they've been through enough. Hey, real quick, guys, StreamYard's been real goofy lately. If for some reason you lose me or the screen freezes, just hang in there. I'll be right back. It just takes me a couple of seconds to reset. Kevin muted himself. Kevin, you hit a button.
I didn't even know I was live yet.
That's a dangerous thing, Kevin. That's dangerous.
That's pretty funny, right?
That's dangerous.
I'm glad I wasn't having a temper tantrum about something. But I just hope Brian's parent, I've said this all along that, in my opinion, I think Brian is waiting for the autopsy results. And then he is going to give himself up. For some reason, I just had that in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Hey, did you all see this that JB put up on Twitter? Records obtained by WFLA revealed there's been kidnapping and death threats to Cassie Laundrie and her family after her brother went missing in September. Who'd want to kidnap Cassie?
Yeah, and that's just taking it a little too far, in my opinion. You know, granted, it's horrible what happened to Gabby, but that doesn't give people a right to give death threats to people.
No. You don't take the law into your own hands. That's crazy.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, it's very wrong. Like I said, we don't take the law into our own hands. And what's going to happen? You catch a kidnapping charge, you catch a whatever the charge would be for a death threat.
Well, I was watching another channel the other day, and somebody in chat was saying they were going to go and find Brian Laundrie. And I thought to myself, that's about the stupidest. Because, first of all, let's look at it like this. He is wanted for the death of Gabby, some way. And if he is, desperate, you trying to go apprehend somebody that's on the run for murder, I don't think they're going to give up quite easy. You're putting your life, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Who knows how desperate he is? He might do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, these fools threatening to kidnap Cassie, death threats, and stuff like that. So you wanna get hung out in jail for a while Brian's out there running around free?
Yeah, maybe they can hang out in jail with him when they do that. Because you'll be arrested for getting involved.
Yeah. But you don't go around threatening to kidnap people. Because if it worked that way, you would have already, kidnapped Dawn and Candace.
Right. But in my opinion, some reason, I'm thinking Brian's waiting for the autopsy results, and then he's going to turn himself in. I've been saying that. We'll see.
Yep. You have for quite a while.
Yep. And if you think about it, that's what a lawyer would do. I mean, who knows what this autopsy is going to reveal? I don't know. But
I don't either. Does anyone have any guesses or thoughts?
I'm going to say strangulation or blunt trauma to the head. Those are my two guesses. I don't know. Or maybe none of the above. Who knows? This could go.
I put on the screen over the weekend, JB had dinner with Gabby's parents. So I'm wondering what they're doing down in Florida. Unless
JB had dinner with Gabby's parents?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
Wow.
That looks a lot more like Florida than it does New York, definitely. So I'm just wondering why they went down to Florida.
Who went to Florida?
Her parents. Did you see? Look on the screen. Can you see?
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I see it now. Wow. I feel sorry for her parents, man. I really do. Because I lost a daughter, and I can't imagine losing one like what happened to Gabby.
I know. It's awful. And Gary, you're right. Gary says, I still don't think they're going to reveal everything that they know. No, they never do.
No, I don't think so either. That's a great point.
Joshua Pierce said he probably gassed up the chopper and flew down. Could have. That chopper thing really tears him up. Did you catch that? Said Gabby did have a small handgun. I don't think anybody has ever mentioned whatever happened with it. I would love to know.
Well, if he was smart, he got rid of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if he used it. I don't see him using a gun on her, though, in my opinion. Nope. I think this happened in a heat of just rage. They were arguing, and maybe Gabby was up in his face, pointing her finger at his face, and him being a control freak. He's, in my opinion, he's seen red, and that's, why I'm saying he might have choked her to death. I don't know, but.
Well, we're going to find out here in about 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to say fit of rage, but I mean, they've been kind of fighting off and on. Real quick, Phoenix said, okay, I gave up. What are you giving up on, girl?
Don't ever give up.
I think she was having trouble with her phone, or I think she said something about a TV earlier or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe she's having storms.
Yeah.
The internet can be such a pain in the butt sometimes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. All right, so we're going to flip over to JB. Remember, guys, if I lose you, if it freezes up or something, just hang in there, and I'll be right back.
Yep. Wonder how much hair gel JB used today.
Oh, I bet he doesn't have a hair out of place today.
Right.
I think what you mentioned, JB, to our earlier audience, now getting more viewers on Facebook, that you've had some communication with the family, and this will not be a surprise for her parents. I think that is an important thing to mention, JB, that the family has been notified before Dr. Brent Blue goes public with whatever findings he will release to us today. So I want to mention that to our new viewers here as we count down just about 2 minutes away from this highly anticipated Zoom news conference with the coroner from Teton County, Wyoming. But yeah, JB, it's been really... We spent a lot of time the last few weeks kind of piecing together this timeline, not just leading up to the 27th when Gabby was last seen, but also that 11-day window, JB, between the 1st and the 11th. Like you mentioned, that camping trip that has drawn a lot of scrutiny. Who knew what when? As I told you before, I went knocking on Cassie Laundrie's door a few weeks ago, and she did not come out to talk to me. Right? She came out because she was just sick of the protesters, and she's talked about a kind of a fracture in her family. She's not even talking to her parents. And the family attorney, Mr. Bertolino, has said that he doesn't represent her, and she's come out, like you said way more than the parents have said publicly. So a lot of unexpected twists and turns here, but this will really be, from a medical perspective, hopefully some answers today. Difficult news to process. It might be hard for some of you at home to hear, exactly what they tell us, what he might tell us happened to her. But again, all eyes on this news conference today as the coroner will come out and provide more information about the autopsy of this 22-year-old woman who by now the world knows her name after sadly she vanished and her body was located in that forest in Wyoming.
So
I don't know what to do about the echo. Hang on.
Brooks must be having some kind of issues, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in today.
Some people say it's that it's echoing, but
yeah, they're about to unmute. We'll watch for your hashtag KJB, hashtag KJustin comments here, and we'll have.
I hope they don't say the autopsy is inconclusive right now or something.
Yeah, hang on.
But who knows down the road? Before you leave the scene, call 1-800-ASK-GARY. For over the past 10 years, more than 150,000 Floridians have dialed 1-800-ASK-GARY to find legal or medical help. From getting a same-day appointment to transportation to the doctor to an attorney coming to your home, call 1-800-ASK-GARY.
That's a funny commercial.
Sadly, know that he has not unmuted himself here yet. So perhaps waiting just another moment here, but when he unmutes,
and I think he's now going to be muted or unmuting himself here in a moment. And you'll see some of
Here
the
we go.
coming in here as well. Because again, just a raw Zoom call, but really, again, we're long listening here.
It's a damn shame we have to even watch.
Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After the detailed investigation by our forensic pathologists, our anthropologists, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is following the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
Should I start over then? Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologists, our anthropologists, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is following the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
Hi, Brian. This is Alex from the Music Guy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually going to be determined more by law enforcement first than than our office.
Okay, Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Jeremy Kopeth, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
Hi there, this is Heather Lee, reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
Is there another question?
Brian Enton. I believe you're unmuted right now. Okay. Steve Fabian.
Yes, hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains, and also if the body was intact. Are you able to tell us the condition of Gabby's remains?
Really?
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
Chris Vivian, do you have your hand up?
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there. Question.
Dr. Blue?
Yes.
It's John Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh. You will probably be the most important witness at the trial. And I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, you know, they use the semantics. He was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably. Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
I can't make any comment about any suspects because we are not involved in that part of the investigation. We are only involved in the investigation of the body of the deceased. So who committed the homicide is really to be determined by law enforcement.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work. And I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
Hey there, doctor. This is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are 4 possibilities for a manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the 4 choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death. The scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI because we're not allowed to release that information.
Kelly Vaughn. Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn? We have Brian Enting in the chat who has a question. What's your question, Brian? Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
KSL assignment, you are unmuted. KSL assignment.
Hello, Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not, was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with the law enforcement or the FBI.
Give it up, people. They're not going to answer your question.
Matthew Stella, do you have a question?
Hey, Dr. Blue. It's actually Jimmy from dailymail.com in New York here. What were the results of the toxicology report? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And if so, what were they?
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by Wyoming Institute, so I can't comment about that.
Thank you.
We have a question from the chat. Was Gabby Petito pregnant?
She was not pregnant.
Thomas Taupe.
Hi, doctor. My question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
WPBF 25 News.
Hi, Doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination. Could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis that you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist, and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
Jeremy Kopis.
Yes, doctor, thank you for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Wyoming statute.
Was there any other cause of death that was a possibility in this case?
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death, but this is the cause of death that we determined.
I have a question from chat. It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
The man, nothing is obvious in a situation like this, so a detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Yes, hi, Dr. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, you just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Jorge Fitzgibbon. You have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time, and the death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, well, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Eileen with News 12.
Hi, doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
I can't comment on that because it would be a finding of the autopsy. And as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming, the autopsy results are not public knowledge.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our board in Teton County, Wyoming.
Anna Gregorio.
Gregorio. It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today. Can I ask you if from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination?
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious. And so the cause of death required investigation.
We have a William Walkie.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in Western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
Francis DeFior.
Yes, hello. This is Francis Fury from the Port Charlotte Sun. I just want to go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Folks, this is JB Buno on WFLA Now. We are going to go back to the Zoom call here in just a second. We do have an update from the attorney of Brian Laundrie. Stephen Bertolino has issued a statement. That's coming here next.
Question, then.
We have the snack squad.
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Hi, doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
Yeah, I can't comment on that.
Dr. Blair, would you like to take any more questions?
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation. And I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So contacting me by email and phone is not going to reveal any additional information. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your interest.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question. Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
Yes.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
Great, thank you.
Again, thank you all very much for your time.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here is JB Buno.
Gabby Petito, at just 22 years old, died of strangulation, according to the autopsy conducted by who you just heard from, Dr. Brent Blue of the Teton County Coroner's Office. An answer that tells us how she died. But so many of you here in the comments asking, will there ever be justice for Gabby? Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. That was, of course, I'm sure hard news for a lot of people to digest. Gabby Petito dying of strangulation, according to this press conference that was called here today, October 12th, 2021 here, 2:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Mountain. And you just heard from Dr. Brent Blue here. But we do get a really couple of key pieces of information here from Dr. Blue. And I want to start here, Justin, if we can.
Frozen up, buddy.
Oh, you are frozen.
Yes.
Let's get that fixed.
Let's get that fixed for you. A lot of new information to go over.
Yeah, so let's fix the camera for Justin, and then we can get him back. And now he is back.
There we are.
Okay, so the key piece of information, Justin, 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. Again, the main headline, the cause of death, according to the Teton County coroner, is strangulation. Again, they had previously told us her death was a homicide. He again confirmed that today. Again, the coroner says he believes her body was in the wilderness there for 3 to 4 weeks from the time it was found from before when she was killed. He was very tight-lipped on questions about who might have been responsible. JB, we saw a few questions from John Walsh about the person of interest in this case. But again, he said that is up to the law enforcement community to determine who is responsible for her homicide.
Let's get to some of the comments and questions that are coming in here. We have, of course, let you know that you can use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJustin. We're live across all of our platforms right now, WFLA.com, the WFLA app. WFLA's Facebook page and WFLA's YouTube page as well. Hello to all of our interactive audiences here. So let's get to some of the comments and questions that have come in here over the last several minutes. And I want to get right into it. From Kim Brower here, hashtag AJB. If the time of death is 3 to 4 weeks, let me explain Kim's comment here, exactly what was said here. So from the body being found, that was September 19th is when the body was discovered there.
Correct.
The remains that, of course, then they would go on to confirm, match the description, and then was, in fact, Gabby Petito. It was 3 to 4 weeks before that Gabby Petito died of strangulation. And those dates are, so within that 3 to 4 week time window now, that makes it August 22nd to August 29th. But I'm going to bring up here, I'm going to put away, I'm going to read Kim's comment here, then I'm going to put it away because we're going to get to the timeline here. And Walt, I see Walt Buteau is hanging out. And Walt, if you'd like to sit down, you're more than welcome to sit on the mic if you'd like. We're kind of all just kind of processing this news here in the newsroom. Kim Brower, hashtag KJB. If the time of death is 3 to 4 weeks, that means that he killed her right after being separated. Could this be why he came home for a week to get his exit prepared? And this is just one of the different types of comments that we're seeing out there. Kim, but let's put away your comment really quickly.
Jump in real quick on this. I think this more fits into that period of the 27th to the 30th, JB.
Yep.
That is when the FBI has put out a request for information from people who are in the Bridger Teton National Forest, Spread Creek dispersed camping area, the 27th to the 30th. So again, he has that 3 to 4 week window. I'm still honed in on those days, the 27th to the 30th. He was also asked about whether an actual date of death will be put on her death certificate. He said it might just be a date range. They might never know exactly the date it was, JB, but I'm honed in on about 3.5 weeks before the 19th would fall right in that 27th to the 29th of August. Those are the dates I'm most honed in on from this news conference.
I agree. And I think we also have to focus on the 27th is the last day that somebody saw her. This 27th is the last day she texted her mother. And the doctor, the coroner also pointed out, under Wyoming law, he doesn't have to put a date on there. He can put a date range. And again, and by the way, 27th is also the day that the van was spotted by the video, the woman from Spring Hill, right? So the 27th, again, I agree with Justin. I think that period of time is still there. Obviously, it's possible they can go all the way back to that 4 week range, but I think they kind of do that out of precaution, right? I still think those 3 dates are key.
I want to really quickly show our audience here a live picture from, we'll tap the touchscreen here. We'll go live to outside of the laundry home here. We're just keeping an eye here on the laundry home here to see if there's any neighbors that gather outside. This is now, of course, a story that has led to this day as far as the coroner releasing the cause of death for Gabrielle Petito. And it being
How's it going, Kat?
Oh, hey, Brooks. How you doing?
Good. So right now they're just showing the house. Wow. Okay, I'm not surprised by the strangulation. I'm really not. John Walsh was coming in hardcore. You know, he was really asking some crazy questions. And I mean, you know, the coroner made it clear he's not going to answer any of that.
Yeah.
You know, the accidental strangling, I don't know what the hell they're talking about there. If there's some kind of like they were playing around, I don't know, but that was such a dumb thing to ask.
Absolutely. They can't go with that. They can't go with accidental strangling. That just gets him completely off the hook. That's not okay.
Ridiculous. So we know she was not pregnant.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
So they said,
how can?
So they said she was out in the wilderness 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh.
So that timeline, I mean, makes sense. I mean, the last time she was seen was August 27th, and I believe she was found on the 19th.
Yeah. And then they did the autopsy, and they've taken that long again to give the results.
Yeah.
They were waiting for a tox screen, I think.
And he won't comment on that. But the coroner, I don't know if he caught himself or not, but when he was talking, all right, someone's got a lot of background noise. So let me just go through and see who it is. Hang on. Let's see.
Someone's got YouTube in the background, I think. You can hear
it's background noise. It'll be okay. But the coroner, I don't know if you guys caught it or not. I know a couple of you did. I saw it in chat. He was talking about, you know, he mentioned domestic violence.
Yeah.
I don't know that he realizes he made that slip. Did you catch that? What, Big Eyes? Did you catch it, Kevin?
Yes, I heard it. It just jumped right out there.
Yeah.
What I don't understand the question. Accidental strangle. How can you accidentally strangle someone?
They're going to try and give him the option to say it was a sexual thing, game gone wrong or something.
So they're going to say they were into like S&M.
Yeah.
Like, why do you love that sadist?
Yeah,
Beats
but the trouble
me.
is they put that out there now. They've put that out there.
Yeah, that's going to be
Right.
his defense. Yep.
So, oh, Brian will give himself up now. I don't know.
All right. So the Laundrie family attorney texted Brian Enton. So whoever told me about this, thank you. I'm just going to read it real quick. Mr. Bertolino just texted, Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the pending fraud charge against him. That's cold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That doesn't give any kind of hope or anything for Gabby's family.
No, it doesn't. It's disgusting.
It's a sad day, man, for them. Oof.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, boy, I can't. I just knew that guy strangled her. I just knew it.
It seemed like the most likely thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it was just one of those rages, I would imagine, where Brian just seemed red. I mean, it must have been really, really heated.
Well, you know, when you strangle someone, that's very personal. I mean, you're there right in their face, looking at them.
I was interested in my only question would have been, did he strangle her with his hands or something else? But they're not going to tell you that, so not right now.
Sometimes, you know, they'll say ligature strangulation, manual strangulation.
Right.
But this time they didn't show their cards at all, so we don't know.
Yeah, and the doctor was actually smart about it. I mean, I don't know how many times he had to say, I'm not going to answer that. I can't answer. That's up to law enforcement. But he did slip because John Walsh kept pressing hard. He was really going hard after him. I mean, he even, you know, was kind of coating his ego a little bit, saying, you know, you're going to be the most important person, you know, that goes to trial or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And he kept asking about Brian. He wouldn't answer anything, but then he did slip later and say a victim of domestic violence.
Right. He started talking about the other victims that never get nationwide attention like this. So that tells me right there what he thinks it is.
Yeah, he looks at, that's his job. I mean, he looks at bodies all the time. That's the reason. I know some people were saying he just seems really cold and detached, but I mean, that's his job.
Yeah. The fact is as well, there may have been, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, Kat.
I was just going to say the fact is, and when they're doing an autopsy, they can find things like older injuries that would have been inflicted before the time of death. So it's quite likely that she did sustain other injuries at other times. And that's what they were talking about when they said the domestic violence.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Boy.
Queen of Hearts says, what do you want to bet that the exact start to finish death is in one of those books he read so much? Yeah, something was welling up in him for quite a while.
Well, yeah, you don't just strangle somebody on a day's notice. You know, I wouldn't think. I mean, I'm sure they've been, arguing and fighting for some time.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to go into this whole thing about this S&M type of thing, because I think that gives him an out, and I don't think he deserves that out. I don't think that it was anything to do with that. It was domestic violence. It wasn't a game gone wrong. I don't like the fact that that can be used as a defense, personally.
I don't like it either. I think it's ridiculous, because let's look at the history. On the 12th, the police were involved in a fight. The 27th, they were seen publicly arguing again, and this is after he had flown back from Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah, this wasn't no S&M accidental sick sex game. Not at all.
No,
I'm sure they love to convince everyone that's what it is.
Well, if it was accidental, he should have gotten help right then.
Right.
He didn't do that. Instead, he ran and left her right there.
Exactly. That's what says the guilt as well. The fact that he did that, he left her there.
Yep, that's what Jenna said. Airway damage, do not mess that up. There's no justification, because he ran and he's been hiding. Not only did he run, he took her damn van.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, he'd already flown from Salt Lake City to Florida and back. So he could have gotten a plane ticket, but he took her van, took her money, which that charge to me, I won't understand that if they were sharing bills. But anyway, I'm not getting into that. And then you have the attorney, and I'm going to read it again here in a second. I mean, cold-hearted. We will address the fraud charges when we find him. He's a missing person. Like, we're supposed to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, feel sorry for him. Even though the fact that he got a lawyer, when the FBI first even turned up at his door, they were given a note saying that he was lawyered up and that he wasn't going to talk. He wasn't going to say anything. This was before he disappeared. They'd already made a plan to cover this whole thing up at that point.
Yes.
I think so too. And and unfortunately, the attorney is doing his job. There's nothing else for him to deal with except for what his client's been charged with.
Right.
I still want to know how he's representing him, because where exactly is the fraud charge from? He's an attorney in New York. Is he licensed in Florida, Wyoming, whatever state that he took the money out at? Where exactly is the fraud charge from? Because I have never heard, and I've looked and looked.
Well, I think it's federal, because it involves banking. And so I don't think a state really has to be proven or anything. That's just my guess on that.
Okay, well, that would make more sense. So, well, I don't know. Well, I'm glad that she wasn't pregnant. This accidental strangulation is stupid thing to even put out there, because people are going to run with that.
Absolutely. That's why I was so angry about it, because it's not an okay thing to give him an out at this point, to say that, to even put it in the public conscience, because that's going to be all around YouTube, all around the conspiracy theories, etc. It's not okay.
Yeah, that was horrible to do that.
It is horrible.
He's got a chance if he turns up to defend himself. Gabby has no chance to defend herself. Not now, and not when they were in a relationship. So I think people just need to think more about her and her family, and the pain that her family's going through, rather than thinking about poor Brian. There's nothing poor about him. He's on the run. He's a fugitive from justice, in my opinion.
He's got all the rights. Gabby had no rights. Gabby
had no rights. She
can't complain. She can't get a lawyer. She can't have the media tweeting for her. She had no rights, and she has no rights now.
Exactly.
Well, watch what will happen. She will end up being the perpetrator in this.
No.
It's all her fault
No.
that he practiced the erotic asphyxia because she was demanding it. You just watch. That's what that kind of person is. He's a sicko.
Yep.
He'll try to get off with that.
No, that can't happen. I don't want to hear anyone saying that that's what should happen either, because it shouldn't. It's wrong.
No, I'm not saying it should.
Oh no, I know you're not. I know you're not. But there has been a couple of comments in chat that have gone along those lines, and I'm not going for that at all.
She is clearly the victim of domestic violence, and that's what the coroner said.
Yeah.
In his roundabout way, that's as much as he could say according to the laws in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Dallas, the link is up if you want to grab it. No, and I mean they're going to grab onto any straw they can to keep baby P out of jail,
and to keep him looking like he's the victim. He's not the victim. He's not the victim. Gabby is the victim. Gabby's family are the victims.
They already tried it once. They put out a redacted police video where people are like, kind of side-eyed that.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces of the police report. Then when we see the whole body cam, we're like, well, we can clearly see what's going on. Hey, what's going on, Dallas?
Not much. I heard recently that the laundry's attorney is a real estate attorney, not a criminal.
That's right.
He's just speaking on their behalf. He's represented them for years because of, different properties they own. I can't believe the guy got sucked into it. I'd have been like, weeks ago, I'd have been like, this is not my forte. You need a different attorney.
Well, see, what they're doing is he's going to be declared incapable of buying his own attorney. So this, the prosecution will have to furnish him with an attorney. That's when they're going to separate their, the laundries will drop off and, let him get his own defense attorney that way. And I'm wondering how soon will we hear about the charges? How soon will the murder stuff come out?
I can't wait for that. But going back to what you just said, they're going to drop off, the laundries will drop off and let him get his own attorney. Do you think that the parents of Brian Laundrie would really let him have a public defender?
Yeah, I think they will when it comes down to losing everything they have, because they've already put the pen to the paper knowing how much it costs to defend against a murder charge.
Well, we'll see, because I think they'll mortgage everything they have for whatever reason, just their actions. But like I said, it'll be interesting, and we'll see. I mean, I'm just surprised that Stephen Bertolino's been speaking for them all this time instead of just saying, I do real estate. Why are you dragging me into this? This is a mess.
Well, he's been their attorney for years, so I think he thought he could just write a few letters, make a few statements, and it would all be taken care of when he first got started in this.
Yeah, he's a real estate lawyer. I'm just really surprised that I'm surprised that he even bit this off.
Well, who knows what they told him anyway.
Do they have to, sorry, I'm just asking from a UK perspective, I'm not entirely sure of the whole thing. Do they have to hire a different lawyer for Brian if he's caught than they have for themselves? Is that how it works?
Well, the way I'm understanding it now is that lawyer is representing all three of them.
Okay. Even if he's charged with a crime separate from them, the same lawyer can still represent him, is that right?
Well, he can, but it just depends on how, I'm sure he will realize the length of his capabilities and recommend they get a proper defense attorney, because he's not one. He just, his specialty is real estate and business matters. He's
right. So if now the autopsy results have come out, what is the next step in terms of the police charging him or anything with the murder or homicide?
Well, they'll have the state and the federal will have a little conference there, and since it was on federal land, it should be a federal prosecutor. So that's what I'm thinking, and it just depends on what they've got and how much they've compiled. And they have so many days before, when they file those charges before they put them on trial.
Right.
So it could be a while now.
And can they not put him on trial if he's absent? They can only put him on trial if he's present.
Well, people have been tried in absentia.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. There's nothing normal about this case at all from the get.
None of it. No, none of it makes any sense. I mean, and if Stephen Bertolino wants to play defense attorney, wow.
Yeah, that'll be something.
I haven't even found anything where he's ever even defended a DUI. I mean, wow. No, I can't even imagine. No, he's going to have to get a defense attorney. And I can't believe he's even making a statement today saying we'll deal with the fraud charges once he's like no longer missing. Again, you're not a defense attorney. You do real estate closings.
Yeah, that just baffles me.
Me too. When I read that, I was like, what, dude? Why would you even take ownership of that you're gonna address that? I have a feeling that the laundry, Ma and Pa Laundry, getting this news today, are blowing up his phone saying, now what do we do?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do you know a guy that can defend him? Because what's a good defense attorney cost?
It's expensive.
Super expensive. Super expensive. Dallas, did you have anything else to say?
I think Brian's parents know what he did to Gabby. That's why they aren't talking to the cops anymore.
Oh, I think they've had a pretty good idea since he rolled up in the van without her, which is why they got on the hustle to get him hidden.
Yep.
They presented the business card to the police when they got there, when they came to check on Gabby. Yeah, I mean, I think they were rolling before, the missing persons report was even found. I'm sure things got pretty heated. I'm just guessing, just an opinion, that things got pretty heated in the house with her mom calling, texting her dad or stepdad or stepmom. All of these people said, where is she? Where is she? Because when was the last time she talked to her mother? It was the 25th of August, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they FaceTimed then.
If I was Gabby's parents, I'd be furious at Brian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I think they've been furious for a long time, and I think they've been preparing for this day because at some point they knew what was going to happen and they knew he was responsible. And his parents know he's responsible, but now they got to figure out how to cover this.
I just think they can't grieve. They don't have any closure until Brian's caught. I mean, I know they were saying about the remains and everything today, but that's not going to bring them full closure while they know that Brian's still out there, still getting away with it, still no answers from him. I think going through the trial process and all of that is part of what gives families closure when they lose somebody.
Yes, and the first step is apprehension of the killer, and
knowing the results of the autopsy isn't going to be the kind of thing that brings them the full closure. The fact that he's still on the run is a massive disservice to her family because they can't grieve and they can't, they can't move forwards at all. They probably never will be able to, but they need that certainty from his arrest, etc. I think, to be able to grieve.
Yes.
They might not have full closure until after the trial.
Yeah, but
This
I think
could
the
go
trial
on for-
process is so important for that reason.
Yeah.
This must
Now-
be a hard day for them.
Now, the New York Post did report that the FBI believes that Brian is somewhere safe. So, we've given up on the swamp, Fort DeSoto, the Appalachian Trail. But, what Big Eyes and I have been discussing that since we started doing these lives, that no, he's somewhere, he's okay.
Yeah. I believe that. I believe that he's somewhere fine, and also that his parents know exactly where he is and they're protecting him.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not hiding in his sister's house.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be somewhere where they know full well where he is and that he's safe. Because there's no way with parents like that they were going to let him go off not knowing whether he was going to kill himself or not. They wanted to make sure that he was going to be okay.
And they have someone watching him.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I do want to know why he hitchhiked after the 27th, because I think it was the 29th. Don't quote me that, that's when the people picked him up and he was hitchhiking. He had her van. Why would he be hitchhiking?
Well, I don't put a whole lot of credit in that, because look how many people have seen him, and swear up and down it was him, and it hasn't been. So
You're
I don't.
Exactly right. I told you my new neighbor looks like him.
Wow.
I think the lawyer also knows where he's at.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so do I. So do I. I don't know how those parents can look at themselves in the mirror every single morning in good conscience. How could you do that, knowing that your future daughter-in-law has been left strangled in the middle of another state by your son? I mean, I get that people want to protect their kids, but how do they look themselves in the mirror? That's what I want to know.
That's what I want to know too.
Yeah, I don't think they have much of a conscience myself.
No. Mm-mm. Nope.
There are
Another question I have is, if he's charged federal with murder, will they seek the death penalty on the federal side, or will they do it on the state side?
I don't know that answer because I don't know about it.
Well, a life term would be good enough without possibility of parole. Because, actually the death penalty that I've seen, a person gets to live 30 or 40 years before they're put to death anyway, if that happens at all,
And they get better treatment on death row.
Yeah, they do. They get better perks. So I'd rather have them the other way.
And in Wyoming, it's been a very, very, very long time since they put somebody to death.
I think keeping somebody in jail for the rest of their lives is a suitable punishment, in terms of they have to live with themselves what they've done for the rest of their lives. I'm not a person that agrees with the death penalty, just because I think it gives them an easy way out in some respects, and the victims' families get a life sentence and they have to live with what the perpetrator has done for the rest of their lives, but the perpetrator gets put on death row and then executed by the state and doesn't have to live with the consequences of their actions.
Yeah.
I think the state will ask Gabby's parents if they want to seek the death penalty or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Depends on what state we're talking about, because there's states that they have the death penalty on the books, but they don't use it. Then you have states like Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Missouri that frequently use the death penalty, and if they ask for it, it's going to be done. Wyoming has not used it in many, many years. I don't know how it's going to go down. I have no idea where he's going to be tried. I mean, because they keep saying it's federal, it's federal, it's federal. But I mean, she was found deceased in Wyoming. So wouldn't it be their jurisdiction? Because I don't care about this $1,000 fraud.
Well, it could possibly be he's tried in Wyoming, you know, because they have federal jurisdictions in all states. So, you know, I just, we won't know for a while who's going to take the lead here.
Excuse me, Al said, was she found on federal land in Wyoming? Well, that would be a big difference. Yep. Ding,
Yes,
ding, ding.
Ding dong.
Yep. Yep. Ding dong is exactly what I am. Yep. It was a national park.
Yes,
well,
it wasn't a state park. It was a federal park.
Right. So does that mean that it would be a federal case then?
Yes.
Okay.
It should be. Yeah.
So is there I'm sorry, England person here. Is there a federal court system? So do you have an actual federal court where people that are tried federally are tried?
Yes, and they have those in every state.
Ah, okay, cool. I'm learning things here. Thank you.
Well, it was. Now, Bedtime Clown said the murder case won't be federal. I don't know. It's going to be telling. The main thing is, where is Brian?
Yeah.
And whoever has had eyes on him since he quote unquote went missing, which we mean he's hiding, what will their charges be? And why did they put themselves out on the limb like this?
Hopefully his parents.
Well, they've already said his parents can't be charged. We heard that early on.
They can't be charged with hiding a fugitive or helping a fugitive to get away from justice, or is that not a thing?
What was it? What big guys in Florida? It says parents can't be charged for accessory after the fact or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Until he's actually indicted for murder, they can't be held as accessories after the fact. Anything they do after that point, yes, they can.
Right.
Well, I just think the whole thing is disgusting. I cannot believe that this little coward is out there hiding after he went through leaps and bounds to kill her. He didn't hide her very well, obviously. Takes her van, steals her money, and then he's got all this help hiding him. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of things to answer for. That's my personal feeling on it.
Well, I certainly hope so, that they get those that need to answer, because there's been a whole pile of conspiracy going from the very beginning against Gabby, against her family, and hiding a coward. Of course, that's just my opinion. Allegedly, he's a coward.
No, he's a coward. Why would you not at the first sign, if you had nothing to hide when the FBI or whoever it was turned up at his door and they said he's lawyered up, why would he not at that point have spoken to them? You know, the fact that he said nothing, the fact that he kept it all, then he disappeared, and now we're where we are. The fact is, he obviously has something to hide. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone to all that trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's gone to a lot of trouble. And I will say, in all honesty, if I knew I had to face the FBI, any law enforcement, I would immediately say, talk to my attorney. I would never do my own talking. I would never have my words twisted. I mean, no, I would not.
You might have given a statement to your attorney that they could have then passed on. For example, I haven't seen Gabby since we had an argument and I left, for example. To your attorney, maybe you would have said that. You might have made some comment to your attorney that they could have then given to the police if you had nothing to hide.
But it's the running away and hiding.
It's the running away and hiding that gets me. Not speaking publicly, having an attorney, that's kind of that happens.
They preempted that though, didn't they? They preempted
absolutely. They had that business card waiting.
Absolutely. And so they knew something was coming their way, which to me at that point, even at that point, says you've got something to hide. The fact that the moment they knocked on your door, you handed them the card for the attorney says we have something to hide.
Yeah, there's something in the courts here that running away, it shows consciousness of guilt.
Right.
And that can be used against him in the trial.
Yeah. I hope so. The whole thing stinks.
I don't think this isn't going to look bad to a jury. The fact that he's been on a so-called camping trip since September 13th, while she laid out in the wilderness 3 to 4 weeks. There's no way that's going to look good.
No.
No way. Nope, not at all. Well, guys, I'm going to start closing this down. That was extremely hard to listen to.
Yeah.
Extremely a lot to take in. I'm going to play a video of Gabby and start shutting this down. After I play the video of Gabby, I'll come back up, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys. So, had a lot of information to take in today. And if anybody is upset or anything like that, reach out, because some of these things are extremely triggering to people. Thank you, everyone in chat. We have the best chat. We do. Thanks, mods, because I know it's tough when we have streams like this or lives like this where we're doing information. And if you guys, want to send an email, if you want to come to Discord or anything, just check out our About tab. Send me an email, and we'll get back to you. And in the meantime, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See y'all later. Bye-bye.